Hey everyone, it's Dylan and we're back again for a start to finish video this time. So you guys really enjoyed the last one. We have a start to finish video of that liquor cabinet that we recently made. So there was a lot of work that went into making this, so we would really appreciate if you guys could leave a like on the video right now before watching. This video is mostly just voiceover as well, so it's just action shots of us actually building this, so I hope you guys enjoy. So here you see us getting ready to just glue up the parts for the carcass of the cabinet. So we've got the same glue joint machined into the edge of these boards that we use on our exterior doors. And then we're using Titebond 3, which is basically the strongest glue that you can use for solid wood. It's actually rated for exterior environments as well, so it may be a little overkill, but we just want things to be as strong as possible.
We're going to be cutting a maple leaf into the top of a liquor cabinet serving tray section. It's our latest custom maple cabinet that we're doing for a client here today.
After we got the resin poured and everything cleaned up and sanded, we actually went ahead and applied a black Osmo stain on here. So it is still an oil-based stain, and you can see we're being kind of careful not to get it on the resin. Nice thing about this, if you do get it on the resin, most of it's going to wipe off. And the specific product that we're using has protection and color in a single coat. So it's not like we have to do a coat of color and then a different product for protection. It's just 2 coats of the same product and it's done. And we will put a link down in the description for this stain if you guys want to check it out. For the front of the cabinet, our client picked these 2 live edge walnut slabs and some of our black forest deep resin, so that's what we're using for this pour. And then we just pigmented it with some metallic pigment. So with our resin, we can pour up to 2 inches thick with no problems, and then if you go any thicker than that, we recommend cooling it. And we do have a video coming up soon kind of explaining all of our cooling processes. So we've got to use our sort of automatic dovetailer here to actually cut the joinery for the drawers. Now, a lot of people will say this is cheating, which I guess if you're saying that the only right way to do it is cutting the dovetails by hand, then I guess it is cheating. But when it comes to a production setting in a manufacturing shop, we do have to have some kind of repeatability and efficiency. So that's what we got this machine for. There is a bit that is kind of trapped underneath. I think it's right up here. Can't really see it, but it's the shape of a dovetail, and you can actually put your pieces in here. You guys will get to see this, and this bit comes along and cuts the exact spacing in both pieces, and they fit together perfectly after. So it's a step up above regular just tongue and groove drawer construction, and it just gives that sort of nice little touch. Here you see all of the drawer components, and we're staining those with the same product, but we're actually doing it prior to assembly of the drawers. It's a lot easier this way, and then also as the wood expands and contracts, it's not going to expose any unfinished sections. So here we are assembling all of the carcass components of the cabinet. So that's what you saw us gluing up earlier, and we also put the same stain on these. So we have the two long gables and then our shorter rails that go in between. And one thing you'll kind of notice here as well is that there's actually no glue being used for this. We got really tight joinery, as you can see us struggling to get these in. Yep, straight. And then we actually flip the cabinet over and we shoot screws in the side of those shelves and rails, and then we plug them up with a dowel afterwards. So the advantage to this over glue is that it's a lot stronger because it actually pulls all of the joints square and tight, whereas glue might not pull everything as true as if you were to put a screw in there. So another kind of custom feature that our client wanted in this cabinet was a bottle stand with this LED strip underneath it to light up all the bottles. So we built this out of Baltic birch plywood for the sides, and then we did solid maple kind of fronts on there. So we left a little reveal underneath that you'll see in a second where we laid in all of the LED strips, and then the client actually just gets a remote where you can turn everything on and off. Then we head over to the panel saw and we actually start cutting up all of the different drawer and door components. So this has to be very precise if we want everything to line up perfectly. We basically only have one cut to make on these, so it has to be perfect. And then we use a jig with a router to actually machine out the hinge gain for the hinges. And we're using sauce hinges here, so quite a bit different than your standard hinges. They're very expensive, but they're a very high quality hinge as well, really smooth movement, and they can open up a full 180 degrees, which you guys will kind of see at the end of this. So we just think it's kind of a nice step up over your traditional European style hinges. And then here we're putting on our standard oil-based finish that we put on. So we use the Osmo Polyx. For those of you that don't know, it's a hard wax base finish. So it's oil and wax base, and the oils kind of soak into the pores of the wood to give it that really rich look that you see now. And the wax is form this thin, hard protective coating to protect against wear and then also against moisture stains.
Button to lower the brightness.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold this button to raise the brightness.
Okay.
Off, on. This is like the master if you have more than one zone.
Okay, yeah.
So here right now is our liquor cabinet for the client in Ontario. We got it all finished up. This is a very custom cabinet. Picked a lot of details kind of specifically on this. So it's got locking doors as per his request. Then we open it up. There's also LED strips under here. We don't have them turned on right now, but there's all LEDs going underneath. We got a mirror in the back so he can see himself. We've also got a slide out drink mixing tray that pulls right out for our client to mix his drinks on, and then there's a little brass pin at the back for him to lock that tray in place. It's all soft close. One thing I can show you guys is on the drawers, there's dovetailed sides. There's dovetails there. This is where he's gonna keep more liquor down here, so that's why there's so much space in between these two drawers. This one he's just gonna have kind of all bottles lined up in here, and this one I guess he'll put whatever he wants in there. And we got it branded as well down in the bottom corner. But this thing turned out really, really good. So unfortunately, we do not have the cabinet here to give you guys another look at it because it has been shipped away to our client. So we're gonna put a few pictures up here right now so you guys can get a look at it. We've heard from the client as well. He was very, very pleased with it. He said that the drawer slides are working really good. He's got them fully stocked with liquor and they can hold all that weight, so that's definitely a good sign. There's even a few photos of him mixing up some cocktails on there, so huge thank you to our client for trusting us to build this for him. We had a lot of fun, and if you guys like this project, it really means a lot to us to leave a like on the video, and we plan on doing more videos like this in the future.